Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilmember David Broussard.
Say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez.
Present.
Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Here.
Thank you. Next item 1 is public comment. We have no public comment cards. Any out there? I'll remind you to put your cell phones on vibrate, and we'll move on to item 2. Madam Clerk.
Acceptance of the minutes of the November 6, 2018 meeting as published on November 15, 2018.
Do I have a motion? Wow.
Second.
Motion to accept and a second. Councilwoman Ledbetter and Councilman Lewis. Any discussion? Hearing none on this item, please vote your machines. Thank you all. Madam Clerk, item 3.
Persons to address the council. We have Downtown Business Association of New Iberia for a presentation to Mayor Freddie DeCourt and Chief Todd Dalbor.
Cool. It's big. That's nice. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
You want to see it?
Thank you. It's cool. Very nice. Great work. Yeah, it is.
Right? Look, I'll just leave it up here.
Okay, just leave it up there. That's it.
This is to the city and to the new police department for your efforts. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
y'all
you.
for everything. So
Oh.
on behalf of the Downtown Business Association, we're donating the picture to you guys so you don't have to pay for it.
Awesome. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Bigger than our council picture. I'm telling you. We gotta step our game up.
Y'all missing one face in there, though. I don't see me in there.
Join the police department.
Thank you all very much. That's very nice. Thanks for all that the downtown business merchants
nice,
do. And Jennifer, great job. What a good picture. You made a lot of people look good. Thank you. All right, moving on. We're going to item 4.
Resolutions. Resolution approving a contract with Paul J. Allen, architect, for professional services for the West End Park new splash pad and playground project and the City Park Fire Station canopy project, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents in connection therewith.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, great. We have the motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion? And remember these projects, I'll give you the budget cost. $70,000 on the splash pad, $59,000 on the playground equipment with a donation, and $11,000 for the back porch and the old fire station, plus our architectural fees. This money was approved in the budget, and now this will allow me to sign the contracts and start moving forward.
Mayor, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mayor, on the location of the splash pad and playground, y'all had that figured out yet, or did y'all go over?
Met with Paul Allen. Paul can come up, and we had a site meeting, and we are looking at marking utilities, and we have a selected across the street from the community center, where you have a good view from the community center, not as far back as where the swimming pool is, but the playground equipment would be up closer, and the splash pad would be a little further back, but that way you can envision kids running back and forth, and they're all in a good area that they can be observed from the building. And then there's a little pavilion close by. You know, you can envision mothers sitting there while their kids are playing. So I think that little area really works, and we dodge the trees and try to find a little sun.
So it'll all be on the same side?
Pretty much the same side,
Oh,
yes.
good. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Hey, Paul, I guess that answered the question. Sorry.
Sit down.
Marlo.
And that's the side where the old pool was, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Man, I just want to thank you. And matter of fact, Sherry, you was in the mix of this too. I want to thank everybody who, thought about the West End, who've been pressing to get this done. People still calling about splash pad. This is just a beginning.
This
is the beginning of a revitalization of not just the West End, but all our parks. But we thank y'all for what y'all doing and the work y'all put in, the effort y'all put in to make our community a better place to play.
Yes. Good, good. Who's next? Sherry?
I just want to kind of concur with Mr. Lewis had said. I'm very passionate about kids. Everybody already know that. I have kids of my own and grandkids. And it was important to me, it was important to Mr. Lewis, I think it was important to this council that we do something for the youth in our city. That was part of the platform that I ran on, that Mr. Lewis ran on, and I think just about everyone up here are all concerned about the youth. So I just want to thank our mayor for prioritizing this, and our council as well. It's before us tonight, and we couldn't do it without having a good mayor on our side. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Councilwoman Linda.
My question is, are we going to do the project where it could be expanded?
Yeah, I'll let Paul explain that. We met with some vendors.
Right. The playground area, we're putting in an area where we can actually expand it nicely. And as money is raised, the components can be added to. We actually met with a playground provider, one of them, to get a sense of what can you do for that amount of money. And so I think there's a couple of really good ideas, and in the future, the mayor will certainly want to share that with y'all. But it has, every one of these components has the expanding capability, plus of course, the liability issue of having the playground equipment certified. That's probably one of your bigger issues, and that's important. But we found some really that's a gorgeous park. The cypress trees are beautiful, the oaks are beautiful. So there's not a spot on that park that isn't worth developing. But anyway, that's the playground, and certainly the splash pad can be expanded. We're starting with a single circle, but you can add any number of circles to it. And so the provisions that we're making for water and drainage are going to be easy to be connected to.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to say, I hope Miss Peggy Durant gets to watch this meeting, because having sat beside her for 4 years, it was just so sweet to see how she always fought for the West End Park. And I think, she's motivated a lot of people outside of Marlowe. I think she's motivated a lot of people in her community to pay attention and to care, and to know that if you use your voice, eventually, you will be heard. So I hope she's watching tonight, because I think it's part of a legacy that's happening in New Iberia, that we are unifying and we're not just a divided community anymore.
Thank you. So sure. Mr. Broussard.
I'm sure glad to see West End catch up a lot with this right here. It was sad to see the pool go when it did, but it's a must. We had to do it, I guess. Not us, but the past administration. But it's nice to see something new come up. Put it where it is, too.
Yep.
And let's see it expand some more. So I'm very glad, Marlo, you fought hard for
we fought hard.
For Ms. Jirac. That was our main issue, was Ms. Jirac, was do something for the West End. So I'm super glad to see something's happening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. B. Any other discussion? Well, then I'll ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Paul?
Happy holidays.
You too.
Same to you.
Madam Clerk, 5B.
Resolution authorizing the city to request a study from the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development to evaluate the need for right turn lanes at the intersection of Admiral Dahl Drive and Center Street.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Broussard? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have some discussion? Mr.
I'd like to
Broussard?
make a statement. I hope you all support this very serious safety issue and flow of traffic, where the state can come spend some of their money on our town to make our flow of traffic a lot better. If not for that that's 1 second, we're gonna fight for the other two later on. Let's at least get this one done. State highway coming in 14, state highway Admiral Dahl. they can come help us give us a turning lane. So make our traffic flow better.
Thank you, Mr. B. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, please vote your machines. All right, I'll get that off, Mr. Broussard.
Thank you.
All right, now we go to public hearings.
A, public hearing on the introduction of an ordinance adopting Chapter 26, Environment, Article 3, Stormwater Pollution Prevention of the Code of Ordinances relating to the requirements of Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality MS4 permits.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a bunch of them. Mr. Broussard and Councilwoman Guidry, do we have any public comment on this item? Item 5A. Hearing none, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Broussard, second by,
Second.
thank you, Councilwoman Lopez. All right, and I'm not gonna ask you to vote because we're not supposed to vote on these every time I do that. 5B, Madam Clerk.
Public hearing on introduction of revising Chapter 62, Parks and Recreation, Article 2, Park and Recreation Commission.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter, second by Councilman Swear. Is there any public comment on 5B? Any takers? Any takers?
Mayor, when you say Park and Recreation Commission, are these the board members of the Park and
This
Recreation?
is, you remember we went kind of through the ordinance and just reworked the ordinance. It was one of Deidre's committees and we
Okay.
emailed it out to everybody. And it just kind of tightened up. There were things that were so old we were conflicting ourselves.
Okay.
Some of it was written long before civil service was in place, and so there were a lot of conflicts, and so all we really did was clean it up.
But it's concerning the board?
Yes.
The Park Board? Okay.
Yes.
There's people on that board.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Mayor, we had a, you had on one of the chapters in there about the hours that the City Park, West End, Cannonball Park would be open. And we have it like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
If there's an event, we know that.
but people can walk at 5 o'clock in the morning.
They can.
Okay.
People can walk at 5, and then if there's an event that doesn't end till 12, nobody's coming to get you.
Yeah.
It's worth asking that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? And any public comment? Seeing no public comment, I need a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry and a second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Great, thank y'all. Now we go to 5C.
Public hearing on the introduction of an ordinance adopting Chapter 86, 86 Traffic and Vehicles, Article 6, Roller Devices, Section 86-233, 86-234, and 86-235.
I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ledbetter. I need a second.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry. Is there any public comment on item 5C? Hearing none, I need a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
Thank you and thank you. Great, now we go to item 6, ordinances.
Ordinance adopting Chapter 26, Environment, Article 3, Stormwater Pollution Prevention to the Code of Ordinances relating to the requirements of Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality MS4 permits.
I need a motion to adopt.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Swear and a second by, I think, Councilman Broussard. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, 6B.
Ordinance revising Chapter 62, Parks and Recreation, Article 2, Parks and Recreation Commission to the Code of Ordinances.
I need a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter and a second. Councilwoman Guidry. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, 5C.
Ordinance adopting Chapter 86, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 6, Roller Devices, Section 86-233, 86-234, and 86-235 to the Code of Ordinances.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry, second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please vote your machines. 5C, thank you. All done. Madam Clerk, item 7, items for discussion, we have none. That's an easy one. We'll move on to Councilman remarks. I'll start on Dustin's end tonight.
Thank you. I have a couple. First off, I want to thank the public and the community for coming out and pretty much putting into the pancake supper. It was a success. Again, I believe this was the 61st annual, and probably starting next month we'll be planning the next one. So thank y'all again. Another one is hope everyone enjoys their holiday this week. Be safe out there. There's kids off of school this week as well, so watch out for those kids playing around right now. So, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Gideon?
I just have a couple. I just want to say, for our neighborhood watch, I decided to get on the ground instead of having a gathering. And what I did was I was able to get on the ground and talk to some of my constituents. And to my surprise, I learned a bit more on what's going on in certain sectors of my district. I always have an idea what's going on. Everybody's always calling me and telling me what's going on. But I just had a chance to reconnect with the people that put me in office. And one of the, and I just want to make a small comment. There was a local news channel that was unfortunate that they had another negative incident that happened in our city. And presumptuously, there was a negative, connotation with that, and it kind of stirred up people in the city. And I just want to thank the youth, and I know this is a bit odd, but I want to thank the youth for actually shedding some light on their mentality or how they think concerning on the things that there is to do out there for volunteerism or things to do or fun or what have you. And I just want to put out another clarion call to, our mothers and our fathers and our grandmothers and our aunties and uncles and all those that are connected to us, to kind of remind our youth on some of the free things that's out there for them to do. And if there is no understanding on, where to go or what to do, there's the Daily Iberian, there's the free calendar events that you can look up. And there's many events going on around the city. A lot of times, some of them overlapping each other in time and length. Also, too, there's the Lifestyle magazine. That's a free magazine that you can pick up anywhere, and you can read it and find out what's going on around our city. There's the St. Francis Diner that's always in need of help to serve the homeless throughout our city. Also, too, there's the Iberia Homeless Shelter. I'm sure they can use a good hand over there as well, sorting out some things. The Boys and Girls Club is here. We have other church youth groups that I'm sure they would welcome your talents and your help. And lastly, mentoring. Every child needs kind of like a big brother or a big sister that they can call that's outside of their family that needs mentoring. And I always love this quote that's by John Quincy Adams, one of our founding fathers, and that's, if your actions inspire others to dream more and to learn more and to become more, then you are a leader. So if you get on TV and say things like that, there's others that may want to follow. So if you want to be followed or if you want to be considered a leader, there's plenty of things to do. And I just ask that we would step up again together as a community and just inspire our young people. There are free events out there that can be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Libera?
I just want to congratulate my church school, St. Edward's School, on their centennial celebration. It was awesome. I did attend, and those of you that missed it, you missed a treat. And plus there were festivities that Friday and also into the afternoon on Sunday. Also, I want to thank all of those who came out to Neighborhood Watch on last Thursday. And I want to thank Ms. Jane for giving us some very good information about what's coming to New Iberia in the future and what we have to look forward to. And I also want to thank Captain Babin for coming and really interacting with the people who were present at the at the neighborhood watch meeting. He always, entertains whatever the person has to say and really tries to, give them some satisfaction. And he's always willing to work with the constituent. So I want to thank him for that. We had a great dinner, and thanks to all who donated items for the dinner. And I want to wish everybody, in closing, a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a safe one. And it looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice for us. I want to thank this council for almost finishing a year that a lot of progress was done. And that shows that you can put your differences aside and do what's best for the community, and you always will move forward. And I think this council is a good example of that happening. So I want to thank them for that. Thank you.
Good. Mr. Broussard.
We had a very good Veterans Day ceremony, and we have several of them through the year. It's very important that we make those events. We wouldn't be sitting here unless some of those veterans have fought for us in wars. Thanksgiving, kids off. They're off the bus. I hear some of the mom and dad, oh yeah, they got to put up with them for a week. They have to put up with them for the whole year sometimes. But really watch seriously of those kids on the street. They out there, and they'll be playing if the weather's pretty good. So I wish everybody on this council a very good Thanksgiving and a safe one.
Thank you. Councilman Lewis.
Yeah, myself as well. I want to, wish everybody on our council happy Thanksgiving. Also, our employees, our city employees, happy Thanksgiving to them as well. And to the council, take a break, because we know, take a break. I'm not telling y'all how to take a break, but take a break. Because I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break for the holiday. I'm not going to cut off my cell phone, but I'm going to take a break. Mayor, and I don't know if I should have put this on the agenda, but I'm council remarks. Okay. Man, lighting in the district, in the city. I'm getting all kind of calls about lights being out. And then I'm calling Clico, and I'm calling the city. And I'm reporting it in, and then I'm getting calls again that they ain't being turned on or put back on. And I know you were talking about the money we spending with Clico.
We spend over $500,000 a year paying the light bill, and I pay the light bill whether they're working or not. Our police department has started probably, and this is great timing. About 3 weeks ago, we said okay that we making that a priority. So our night officers have been riding around and documenting. The major's putting it together. I asked him about it one day earlier last week. I asked him about it. They're not finished yet. They're still compiling. But what they're doing, the guys that are out on patrol at night are writing down the addresses and the poll numbers, and that's something that we have to do because I'm paying for that either way. We have a ton of them that go on and then intermittently go out. And we have a bunch of them that I turned in a while back downtown that they're on, and if you ride by once, they're on. You make the block, you come back, and it's off. So those are kind of hard. There was a few of them I turned in. They checked and they said, well, they were on. I said, no, they were on when you passed. So we're compiling a good list and getting that together because I want to make sure we're getting everything that we're paying for. And we all know that lighting is safety. I don't have the answer to how we're going to add more because that's a big budget issue that a bridge we haven't crossed yet. But as far as for the immediate, you're 100% right on this. We need to get what we're paying for, and we need to get them all working. So I will keep the pressure on that, but I do know that they are working on it.
So that's it. Just everybody be safe for the holidays. Take a break and be safe.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lopez.
I just have a few things. Number one is I know a lot of people were thinking about Black Friday shopping. Everybody likes to sale, but don't forget about Shop Small Saturday. Yeah. Normally on the Saturday, the local merchants do, some pretty good sales. I mean, I know I racked up because I don't like to go far or in the traffic. So please keep in mind, you know, check the local New Iberia businesses, check their Facebooks, because they normally do offer some pretty good promotions. Second thing I want to mention is, I'm not big on mixing politics with church, but I'd like to point out the fact that our Savior's Church, which is founded in Broussard, has just recently bought Assembly Christian. They made the announcement 2 weeks ago during service, and they said that it has been packed. The parking lot has been packed. And just for, you know, coming from a council state of how we see certain things from a different level, that's just really inspiring. Because it doesn't matter, you know, what you do or what church you go to or what religion you are, as long as you know, people are getting fed, I think that can only promote positivity. So, you know, I hope, you know, more and more people in our community find that outlet for them, because I think it's only beneficial for us, and I think it's beneficial that we were chosen by them, to, you know, that they wanted to come and invest in our community. You know, I think that says a lot about our value, you know, that you know, people see the value that we have. So I think that's exciting. So I wanted to kind of point that out. It's not in the city limits, it's out in the parish, but still, I'm sure city residents are going. And the last thing is, of course, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, community, council members. And, you know, I just personally want to say that I am very thankful that I get to serve. You know, people say all the time, are you going to do something else? Do you like it? And I'm like, oh, it just depends on the day of the week. You know, just some days we love it, some days you just want to hide, some days you just want to probably like throw yourself on out the window and just like let it catch fire on the way out. You know, but I am very thankful to serve this community. It's been pretty positive, and I'm thankful for the group that we have, and that we're all so diverse, but yet we get along so well, and that we represent our demographic. So it's so equivalent, I find, you know, that each district really has a true voice for what they are and what they need. And that's it for me.
Thank you. I like everybody else because this Thanksgiving, let me tell you, I couldn't do it without any one of y'all. I am so thankful to have the council I have, and we're almost halfway through, two more meetings. We have made great strides. We got a long way to go, but y'all have made my job fun. You know, this is really rewarding, and I can't thank y'all enough. To my department heads, to every city employee, you know, they don't get thanked enough for the job they do, and they all put up with me. But it is just, you know, I'm blessed to have this job, and Thanksgiving is the time of year that you're supposed to look at your blessings. So that's my first thing. My next thing, don't run away. We got a real quick little meeting, 2 motions, I think, 3 motions, and we'll be done for the TIF district. Our next council meeting is December the 4th. We still have Civic Center property for sale. Check them out. And I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion. Councilwoman Guidry. Second. Councilman Lewis. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk?